It just opened up. There we go. Yeah. Hello, Zoom. Hello, recording. Okay. We just hit recording, so we're going to do the closing section. So there's 4 key things I'm going to talk about today. 5 things, as you can see here. We're going to talk about the power of third-party credibility and how to maximize that. We're going to talk about the process of closing, maybe some questions to ask, how to edify your upline properly, and just in general what that process looks like. So I hope you guys are all ready. Yes. Yep. Awesome. So the power of third-party credibility and the process. So who can tell me what third-party credibility is? Justine?
I think it's a third party. Someone else than you.
Yeah.
Share testimonial about the opportunity of the business. And,
right.
The people who are attending, they will be more interested in what the third party say.
Absolutely. So for Zoom, third-party credibility is where you have someone else to be able to share their story, their testimonial, to answer the questions, someone else apart from you. And why do you think this is important? So the importance of this is because when someone is taking a look at the business, here's a couple of reasons. This is my perspective, and there's lots of different ideas about this, but when someone is looking at the business, they're looking at, number one, what is the business and can I do it? So if you are there doing all of the work, answering all their questions or doing a presentation over the phone yourself and trying to close them yourself, your prospect could be sitting there saying, I can't do what you do. I don't have all that knowledge. I haven't been in the business as long as you, right? So remember, we want to show them a process that is duplicatable. So the third-party credibility allows you to leverage a process and other people to help you answer their questions and to help close your guests. So what does this look like? Well, when we're doing in-person events and you have a guest at a tour in person, after the tour, invite or introduce, I should say, your guest to your upline or to another partner in the room. And this is something that we can organize in advance. So if you're coming in person, and I'm just saying in person because we're here and we do weekly events in Ottawa, I'll do the online version in a sec. In advance, think about who your guest is. Are they a single mom? Are they a business owner? Do they have, are they a nurse, right? Is there someone in the room, a partner in the room that could connect with them? That would be a great person to introduce them to help with the closing process because your guest can relate to that partner. So thinking about those things in advance, utilizing the partners in the room, and immediately after the tour, taking your guest, like, I want to introduce you to one of our partners here. She's also a nurse. Here, they should be happy to answer any questions. That way you're utilizing the people in the room and you're introducing them to someone else to have that conversation. We always utilize our My5 as well. So we still very much live in an online world, and there's a lot of online tours that are going on. And so for the online process, you want to, so everyone has a My5, right? So here's what I would do. If you know that you have a prospect that's tuning into my tour, Wednesdays, 3 p.m., hi, make sure you have people on there. If you know you have a guest that's tuning in on Wednesday at 3 p.m., here's what I would do. I would go into my My5 and I would ask my My5, hey, My5, is there anyone available at 4 p.m. Eastern time to help me with a 3-way call with a prospect? Okay, so I'm arranging in advance a 3-way call with my My5, someone else. And at the same time, you also want to have that conversation with your guest so that there's an expectation of what that next step is. And that's very important because after the tour, if you don't do that, they could just disappear, right? But if they know in advance that you want to have a conversation with them, and this could be something as simple as, hey, Abby, I'm looking forward to having you attend the tour on Wednesday. Hey, listen, would you be free afterwards for a few minutes? I want to introduce you to one of my mentors to get your questions answered. Then they know that that is the next step that's happening. Okay. So, and then you've also arranged it with someone in your My5 in advance. And that's going to help. I promise you, if you start doing that process to where you're showcasing tours, you will have a much higher success rate, because we want to get people when the energy's high. When the energy's what? High, right? And when is the energy the highest? And they're so excited after they've just seen the presentation. So get them right there, get their questions answered, help them make that decision right away, right? So, so again, to recap, the process: in person, introduce them to someone else in the room, and know the stories of the people in the room so that you can ideally see if you can connect them with someone who may relate to them, or if not, anyone in the room else is fine. Why do we do this? Because the third party, especially if it's someone that you know, your friends and family, not to be blunt, but they might not take you seriously when it comes to business, right? Especially if you're new. Who are you to answer my question? Like, they don't know your experience, but if you're taking the time to, like, this is Steph Wise, you know, she's a single mom. She's been here for a while and she's amazing. Just joking. I'm just half joking.
But it's true.
But it's true. Thank you, Rebecca. But you're introducing them to someone else who can help. And then you're also, at the same time, as I said, showing them the process. So coming back to what I said, 2 questions someone asked when they look at the business. What is the business and can I do it? What did you do? You were excited and invite them to take a look at an opportunity. They either watched a video, attended a presentation, or came here. And then you introduced them to someone else to help close for you. Can anybody do that process?
Yes.
Yes, right? So, and making appointments in advance with your MyFit is very helpful. Everybody's busy, but that's the advantage of doing that. And again, it also demonstrates the system, right? We have a system we follow. And remember, systems duplicate, people don't. So from the get-go, they're seeing what the system is. Does that make sense? Now, I actually have some more detail on how to do a 3-way call. I was going to cover that today, but I think in the absence of time, maybe we'll save that for another training. So let's get on to the how to edify your upline. Well, what I would say for all of you, what is your 2-minute story? Your 2-minute story is what you share. From your 2-minute story, you can write a little bio about yourself. All of you should have that prepared for all of your team members when your team members are introducing people to you to do 3-way calls, right? So even if you don't have the bio memorized, in Ottawa here, we're going to get to know each other very well. So we'll know each other's little stories. You don't need to introduce someone fancy when it's a handshake in a room. But even on Zoom or however it is after, you want to make sure that you edify the person that you're introducing your guest to. So you're establishing some credibility. So your guest is saying, okay, give them a reason why they should listen to this person. So whether you're making that connection as far as how they relate to them, or if it's something to do with their experience, or if it's whatever it is, that the edification process is very important. This is why even in this training, we all are edifying each other all day, right? In the tour, we do the same thing. When you're introducing your guests to your upline or to another partner, same thing, you always want to edify. And so online or post-tour, online, you want to do the same thing. So if you create a Zoom call or a WhatsApp call, or doesn't matter, the first thing you're going to do, and I'm not going to get too much into that process, I think they'll save that for another training topic. The first thing you want to do when you get on the call is introduce your guest to your upline, the person that's helping you, whoever, upline, sideline, whatever, doesn't matter. And then introduce your upline to your guest, and both ways, right? Hey, thank you so much for your time and coming here today. This is my mentor, Stephanie. She's been in the business, the little edification. And then Stephanie, I'd really like to introduce you to my guest, Anna. I've known her for this long. This is how we know each other. She was really excited about the opportunity because of this. And then that way your upline has some information on the person and the relationship, like how do you know each other? That's helpful. So the mutual introduction is very helpful in that process as well. So how to edify, I don't need to get into any more detail than that. Just know a few points about the person, or again, for all of us, we know our 2-minute story. Convert your 2-minute story into a mini bio, have it ready. And even they could be even shared in the My5s in advance so that you already know what those are. And then you're equipped with how to edify your guest or your prospect to your upline. Does that make sense? Zoom, are we doing good? I see we got some more people join us on here. Hello, Zoom. Awesome. You guys hear me okay? We're good there? Okay. So we talked about this already. So this is giving recognition to the importance to establish that credibility. We talked about it. It leads the prospect to respect the person that they're being introduced to. You're helping establish that credibility by edifying them. All of those things go together, right? So respect, you're introducing them as the expert, and then it also establishes trust. So I think this is a slide that was taken from the boot camp from last weekend. We're reusing some of them because they are very powerful, and this is why reinvent the wheel? We've got all the content there. So that's the edification and why it's important. Everyone's got their screenshots. Closing questions. Okay. So sometimes you won't have a 3-way call. Sometimes it'll be you that's there. It's not always perfect. When you can, utilize the 3-way call, 3-way credibility, but it's not always possible. So here are some questions that are helpful. And these are not exclusive, but these are the first 2 I use almost every single time. The first question I ask them after they see a tour, what did you enjoy the most? Because based on what their answer is, I'm going to help them make a decision. If they're interested in Fountain of Life, not really the business, don't try and make a partner out of them. Sell them a bottle. Let them try Fountain of Life. They'll come back. They'll come back.
Sell them a family pack.
Sell them a family pack, right? But cater what your next step is with that person based on what they told you, not what you want. We all want to launch LAs, right? Of course we do. But it has to be about the person. It has to be the right time for them too. So what did you enjoy the most is going to give you that answer. It's going to direct the conversation. And then in the process of answering their questions or having the upline answer their questions, these 7 words are something our CEO swears by. Is there anything else you need clarification on? That's going to prompt whatever questions they have, right? We don't need to talk to them about residual binary commissions and all the ways we get paid and if they're not asking for that information. If they don't need that information to make a decision, we don't need to get into all those details, right? The guest only needs answers to the questions they have to make a decision. And I have to stop myself sometimes too, because I have all the information in my brain and it's like, I get excited and sometimes I can keep going on and on, but then you're like vomiting information on them when they don't necessarily need it all to make that decision. So those 7 words keep it very simple. Is there anything else you need clarification on? And answering those questions and helping them get the answers they need in order to make the decision that is best for them. And then again, some closing questions depending on product or business. Which products would you like to take home today? Which package would you like to start with today? If they're interested in the business, which package is the most appealing to you? Right? The very simple questions, but I think a lot of times we overcomplicate this process. And if we can just keep it simple and address the needs of the person that's in front of you and get their questions answered and be assumptive too. It's not aggressive, right? You're here for a reason. You spent your time taking a look at this. You've told me what you enjoyed and what you're interested in. What would you like to take home? Where would you like to start? It's a natural progression. Yeah. So does that make sense? Do you guys find those questions helpful? Zoom, did you find those questions helpful? Awesome. I hope you guys can see me because I'm like all over the place here. All right. And then finally, So this slide is also from the boot camp. So this is a technique that can be done for the presenter, right? So when we're presenting, we also have an opportunity to be closing while we're presenting too, right? There's some things that we can do in our presentations that can lead our guests in a certain way. So either way, the person who invited you to this call has some recommendations on how to launch your opulence global business and which products you should start with. So that's assumptive, right? So we should all, as presenters, we should be saying this because you're setting up the next step. You're kind of setting the stage for the guests that are listening to know that, okay, I need to make a decision on what's going to happen next from here. Talking about the VIP rewards program. If you want the protection of the Safe Home Revolution products for your family, you can become a VIP shopper today for free. Take advantage of our rewards program, start earning free opulence points and earn. So that's a lot of information in one little thing to say. But again, talking about the rewards, talking about the benefits, letting them know, like, the person who invited you here has some recommendations. Make sure you're connecting with them. So as a presenter, we're guiding people to the next step as well. Yeah, Rebecca.
Something I had never really thought about before until reading this again. The other thing you're doing, especially if you're a new partner, you don't have the amount of recommendations probably Steph or I have after being around here for over a decade, right?
Mhm.
So it's building up that third-party credibility again for you as a new partner.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've brought a stranger to the table, that's one thing. They don't have any assumptions or ideas or expectations about you. But if you've brought somebody to the table that is a friend, or they've known you a long time, and they've never known you as a business person, now you have a credible person at the front of the room saying, Sarah, she's got some recommendations for you, and you should listen to what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That line is very powerful.
It is extremely powerful. I'm going to be implementing that immediately.
Yes. So just to reiterate what Rebecca shared, the slide, the closing the sale slide, I know Zoom may not be able to see it very well. The closing the sale by offering choices where the presenter's saying the person who invited you here or has recommendations, I lost my train of thought in explaining what you said. Sorry.
You're adding third-party credibility.
Adding third-party credibility by guiding your prospect back to the partner. The partner who invited you has some recommendations. So they're almost edifying the partner in the first place, right?
You're putting the partner.
Come up here. Just say it to Zoom. I don't know why I'm having a hard time reiterating.
That's okay.
You can see Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca. Okay, so here's the light bulb moment for me. As the presenter, if I'm telling the room, the person that you came with has some recommendations for you. If you're sitting there as a new partner, maybe you don't have a lot of business experience, and the person that you brought with you is a friend or a family member, and they've never seen you in business, they don't see you as a business person. Now the person at the front of the room is saying, hey, that cousin, aunt, sister, uncle, cousin, brother, whatever that brought you here, they have some business experience here with our group. They have recommendations for you. You should listen to them. It's actually turning the switch in the customer's head to see their friend or family member in a more elevated business way. That was my light bulb moment.
Thank you. Give it a hand for Rebecca. She articulates it so well.
I learned from you.
Oh, so nice. Awesome. So is that helpful for everybody as far as the closing process? Keep it simple. Those questions, third party, utilize your My5, and don't be afraid to assume the close either, right? And ask for the sale is the other thing. If we don't ask, we don't get, right? So that's what I wanted to share for closing. Next, we are going to hear from Justine Justine is going to come up and talk about rejection and objection handling. She is a woman of many hats. She joined the Association of Francophone Authors of Ontario. She's a licensed in private judicial law from the I can't pronounce that. From Congo. From Congo, thank you. You'll have to help me pronounce that term better. She worked as a legal advisor in a mining company. She's continued her studies and has achieved her certificate. She's been building her business globally. She's a pivotal individual leading our French market, doing our French tours and presentations and training. And I'm so honored to have her here as a sister here in Ottawa, working alongside us. Please help me welcome Justine.
Okay. Let me handle my get for you. Hi, Zoom partners or guests, I don't know. Do we have people who speak French here? Oh, Josiane, merci de te connecter. She's my friend from South Africa. So I'm so excited. I'm going to start by asking you a question. How did you feel? Did Steph introduce me? She edified me. Okay. And when somebody edifies you, how do you feel?
Like I
feel
want to
special.
meet the person that they're so enthusiastic about.
Okay. So I feel special. I feel loved. I feel welcome.
Yeah.
And my topic is rejection. So it's, it's the opposite. So it's the opposite.
Where you were going with that.
Yeah, so I feel welcome, but my topic is rejection. And I'm pretty sure everyone in this room has been rejected some one day, somehow, and for different reasons.
Are you calling us a group of rejects?
No, I'm just introducing you to my topic. So we're gonna define rejection. We need to learn about how to acknowledge when you are rejected. So the way I acknowledge that Steph welcomed me, she showed love, okay? So we need to acknowledge that. And we will also put that in the context of opulence. And we will talk about the mindset. When you are rejected, how you have to keep your mindset to keep going with your project. And I'll give you some tips also to handle rejection. So if I ask you a question, what rejection means for you? A word, something?
It's painful.
Okay, this is the feeling comes with rejection. What, Sarah?
At the beginning, it was painful, but not anymore.
Okay, at the beginning it was painful, but not anymore.
Actually, in the context of my business, I'm quite happy to get a rejection because then it's definitive and I can just move on.
So we can move on. Okay, so rejection is mean we are not accepted. Okay, it's the opposite of what Steph did. Rejection means that people doesn't want to listen to you. Rejection means that you invited people to attend a presentation and no one showed up. Okay, and you are rejected. Or it could be that you want to talk about the business, but somebody gonna tell you, you know what, this is not my thing. So rejection comes in different forms and it brings different feelings. Okay, so I am rejected, I will feel really sad. So let's see in the context of Opulence Global. We are all partners, we want to present business. I gave you already a few examples. Can I have other example? When you have been rejected, you are presenting the opportunity to one of your prospects. Maybe share like your experience. Can somebody share with us? Yeah.
One of my friends that I invited to the Toronto BOOTCAMP, she was great, gracious, paid attention. But then when she left, she said, thanks for sharing it. I don't want to sell anything. I'm not a salesperson. I don't do retail. But then she said, I will pass on your information to anybody in my life that seems interested. I appreciated the fact that she was pretty definitive, right? Like, there's not going to be any follow-up there because she came, she listened, and then she made a decision. So I can't lie though, she's my friend and I really wanted her to join. So in my heart, I had feelings about it, like just, whatever, sad and all that. But I also really, really appreciated that she looked at it
Mhm.
and then she made a very definitive decision.
Oh, okay, so she had a good example. She was rejected, but her friends said that she's gonna refer her to someone else. So she was rejected, and she offered another solution. So you have been rejected because it's not your thing, you don't wanna do it, but that person, if they know somebody who could help you with the business, they may refer you. Sometimes we don't have that. Sometimes we don't have that.
Yeah.
I can relate myself with the rejection. I've been doing French presentation for so many years, and the reason why I decided to do it is because the people I've been talking to, they say, okay, we speak French, we don't speak English. How do you present English? Then it's okay, let me do it in French. I started doing that in French. The same people who wanted to have the French presentation, they didn't even show up. They didn't even show up for my team. While the other side, I have Nadine, who's in Kenya, the French people start joining. Then okay, I was confused. I was okay, what's going on? You wanted the French presentation, and I've been doing French presentation, and no one is showing up. And I can tell you that I was hurt, really hurt, disappointed, discouraged. And at some point, I put on my Facebook page, I said, okay, I want to quit. Not only for Opulence Global, it's because there were so many things going on in my life. I decided, okay, I'm going to quit. Then I think to myself, okay, why am I going to quit? Okay, why do I have to quit? Then I asked myself the question, what was the idea? Why have I decided to do French presentation? Because I speak French. I know myself. I'm confident. And I know that those products we are using here in Opulence Global, they are good for me. They are good for my daughter. And they're good for the other people who have been using or taking our product. So I said, okay, I have to keep my mind positive. So that's no from those people who didn't show up gave me the strength to keep pushing myself. And I could see that the result from what Nadine has been doing, because that's okay. If she was able to bring the people to the French leadership, it means my vision works. So it doesn't work for me for now, but it's gonna work at the end of the road. So I have to continue keep pushing myself. So the solution when we are rejected, so they say no to you. For me, a no, it's a new opportunity. A new opportunity to continue believing in myself. It's a new opportunity for me to continue pushing myself further. A new opportunity for me to think about, let me talk to other partners and get ideas from them. Maybe change my perspective. And today I changed the perspective. I've just realized maybe the people I've been talking to, they are not really like a business person. I have to switch. And I've been working with different French group, and I find out those people are business-minded people. And I can tell you, I'm pretty sure probably there are few here who are attending the presentation, I'm not sure. But since I've been talking to them, I told them this is my vision, this is what I'm doing. I have quite people who say, okay, yeah, we're gonna attend, send us the link. So some of them will be attending the presentation via Zoom. Because I changed my approach. I was okay, maybe those people are not the right people. They are not business-minded people. That should not stop me from being who I am, from doing what I love to do. I love Opulence Global. I love the business. I love the opportunity. I love the jewelry. I love FOL. I love everything about it. I love traveling. I love traveling. I've been on a cruise with my daughter. So why will I be stopping because somebody say no to me? Because somebody rejected me? No, you rejected me. You don't know what you are missing, because Justine keep going. She wanna travel when she wanna feel like traveling. She gonna continue consume the product because she's protecting her health and her daughter and other people around. So rejection, there is so many ways to handle rejection, and you have to use the 3 Ds of objection handling, which are determination, dialogue, to use the right word, and delivery of the message. The way I'm doing that right here, no one will never know that Justine was rejected. I was rejected, discouraged, but I don't show you that to you, right? So this is the way you have to keep your mind positive. Be confident. Know what your value. Know what. Be confident of your opportunity, and share that with energy, enthusiasm, and excitement. Woo! Thank you, guys. That was my topic. I don't know if among us anybody want to share something else before we close my presentation here. Anybody want to share something? People here, I hope you had the chance to listen to me. Hi, Justine, Zara, thank you. Okay, Evro, Jean-Jacques, no, okay. Thank you. There are so many messages on Zoom, but thank you so much. Ifra, you wanted to say something?
No, I love how you were very transparent, because we all go through rejections, but too often we don't talk about it, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. So thank you for sharing that. The challenges and how you came over, that's what it's all about.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ifra. Thank you, that's it. And before we close, I'm gonna call back Steph
Yes.
for the closing remark. Thank you, guys.
Hello again, Zoom. Hello again, everybody.
Hello.
Awesome. So I just wanted to close off our boot camp today with a little bit on mindset, creating success, and some motivation. So change is never a matter of ability. It's always a matter of motivation. That's a quote by Tony Robbins. We all have that in ourselves, or if you're not motivated, we can create it, right? So some of you may know my story, others may not. I've been with the company for a long time, and if you follow Forensic, I've worn a lot of those different hats. I've fallen into a lot of those different categories of distributorship over my tenure with Opulence Global. And the thing is, you know, it doesn't matter where you are or where you've been, you always have a chance to reset. You can always start over. Doesn't matter, the past doesn't exist, you can't go back there. The future doesn't exist either, we can't go there right now. All you have is right now and what you're gonna choose to do with this moment, right? So, and the one thing I know to be true is, like, you only fail if you stop. Because as long as you keep going, as long as you keep working, even if you're putting a little bit of effort every time, you will never lose momentum. You only fail or you only lose when you stop. And let me tell you from experience, it's a lot harder when you stop and you're having to restart every time.
Mhm.
This is someone that's rebuilt her team a few times over 10 years. And I'm being open and honest and transparent, as I always am. And I know that to be true, and I'm speaking from experience, and it's a lot harder. Just like, what's the example? The airplane, to get off the ground, an airplane uses 80% of its fuel to get off the ground. And then it only needs 20% to sustain to get to its destination. Imagine if you have to, refire up that airplane every time, how much energy and time and resources and everything that goes into that, right? So never stop, right? It's no one else's responsibility but your own to show up every day, to take the action required. When you stop, you lose momentum, and it's much harder to keep that going and to keep that energy going. We have, my friends here in the room, ladies in the room, we are a powerful group of ladies here, and Zoom. We have an incredible opportunity in our hands. We know we have the best opportunity, the best products, the best company, the best leadership. We have the logistics, we have the foundation, we have the training, we have the tools, we have everything. The only variable is, what are you going to do with it? That is the only variable. You look at the success that Ifra has been able to create. Ifra is one of the hardest working human beings that I know, that I've known in my entire life. There's no surprise why she is where she is today, because she works harder. She works hard, right? And for some of us that dip our toe in the water here and there, it's like we get the benefits of what we're putting in, right? So we have that control. And I want to encourage you all to commit to playing a higher game. I've had conversations with all of you. We're all committed to being here on a weekly basis, right? I know many people on Zoom are, in Vernisha's forensic program. I know Candy Smash, that's online from Mexico, wants to get a forensic challenge going as well. I want to invite you all, everybody here listening, to level up. This is our time. The time is now. We don't, again, reset what happened yesterday, what happened in the past. You can't jump ahead either. We can think of the future, we can create our vision, but focus on your daily actions and what you can create and what efforts you're putting in on a day-to-day basis. I want to share a success formula, and I learned this from Tony Robbins' weekend. I just did a course by Tony Robbins this past weekend, and this was one of the principles that I learned, and I just wanted to have a bit of a conversation about this. So the ultimate success formula, I don't know if I can show this too. Maybe not. I don't know if you guys can see. Maybe not. I'll send you the slide after if you want. Okay, so number one, know your outcome. Clarity is power, okay?
Royal Lifestyle Director.
Woo! There you go. Know your outcome. What do you want? Know what you want and go after it. If you don't know what you want, if you don't know where you're going, if you're taking a road trip and you don't have something punched in your GPS, you think you're going to get where you need to go? Probably not. So get clarity on what that looks like for you. You can't stop someone who wants to move mountains. Everything else falls in alignment when you show up for yourself. But the first part of that is having clarity on what that is for you, right? So here's a question for you. What's important to you? Where do you want to be? What is the vision you see for yourself? Actually, let's do a quick exercise. So I want everybody to close their eyes. Everybody close their eyes for a minute. Zoom, close your eyes. I can't see you, but close your eyes.
I might fall asleep.
Okay, no falling asleep. Do I need to bring back the energy? Okay, all right. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. I want you guys to picture yourself at the end of this year, December 2022, and you have achieved everything that you had set out to achieve this year. How does that make you feel? Feel it in your body. What are you doing? Who are you being standing there? What's happened in the last 9 months for you to be standing in that place where you are right now? Who did you have to be? How did you show up? What were the actions you took to get to where you are today? Who's around you? Who's celebrating you? What are you doing? Are you traveling? Are you sitting with friends? Are you in a new home? Feel that. Breathe it, feel it. Okay, so open your eyes.
I don't want to.
Me either.
So what you guys just did, you felt in your hearts, you being that person, having already achieved what you want. And I want to encourage you to bring yourself back to that place if ever you need something to get you back, yourself back on track, to know that what you have in your heart, you can achieve because you just visualize and put yourself in that situation. So you've achieved what you want to achieve at the end of this year. You know your outcome. You know how it makes you feel, right? So now, knowing your reasons why, your why must be compelling to move you forward. Otherwise, nothing's ever going to move you. And then we have a lot of conversations about knowing your why and your vision. And I think we should do a vision building day again soon. But, and we will, and that goes along with knowing your outcome. You see yourself at the end and you have that compelling reason why that keeps you motivated and keeps you moving forward. There has to be something compelling to wake you up every day to keep doing the things you do, to handle the rejection like Justine was talking about, right? Because there will be good days and bad days. But if you already know the end game and you have a compelling reason why or reasons why, none of that stuff matters along the way, because you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, you have a great support, we have people here to support you. Take massive action. This is the third step. Doing whatever it takes. Going to bed early, staying up late, sacrificing your Netflix time. You know, like we all have the same 168 hours in a week. The difference is how are people choosing to spend it. And I would bet that a lot of time is being wasted. So one thing I will put out, I'm not going to be a victim to scrolling and spending endless time on social media unintentionally. So we'll hold each other accountable. And that's actually the next, you know, there's part of that coming there, know where you're getting, but taking action on the right things and eliminating the other things that are distractions. This is not easy, but it is important. Yes, Rebecca.
I would like you to take 10 seconds right now and go to my laptop and tell everyone what it says near the camera on my laptop.
So Rebecca has a little sticky note on her camera that says, "Is it going to make me money?" She has that reminder on her computer. So every time she looks at her computer, there's a reminder, is what I'm doing right now making me money?
You should read them, all my little reminders there.
You have, there's a few of them.
Quite relevant.
Amazing.
Focus on what matters. Yes.
That's from Reza.
And embrace what is. I love that.
That's from Ramin.
I love it. I love it. So
Embrace
What is?
focus or embrace what is the other thing. Yes. So taking massive action, focusing on what you can control, focusing on the things that are going to generate income, forgetting about the small stuff, and doing one thing every day to move forward. Do something every day to move you forward in your business, in your life, whatever your priorities are, like, you know, taking care of your health and doing things for yourself. And, you know, there could be a variety of things there. But if we're talking about the opulence context, are you doing income generating activities every day? If the answer is no, then maybe something needs to shift, right?
There are two more reminders at the bottom of that computer.
Lions, not sheep.
Well, that one too, but the two stickers that are on there.
One day at a time, one step at a time. I love it.
On the left side.
Progress over perfection.
That's my mantra right now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I love the love in the chat. Okay, so doing the things that to move forward, small steps and habits repeated over time is what creates results. That's action. That's step number 3. Number 4, know what you're getting. So what does that mean? That means check in with yourself. You know, if you check in with I know Ifra does this. She has she reviews every quarter or so and measures if she's on track with her goals or not. If we don't check in and see if we're on track or off track, how do we know? How do you know if you're going in the right place, right? Write them down and do your daily actions match your target as well, right? If you have a target of making $10,000 a month, but you're only making a few phone calls a week, that doesn't really line up, does it? Right? So, and the other thing to do with that is you could get an accountability partner. So, Carolyn, sorry, we're going to be accountability partners for Stop the Scroll. Who else is ready to stop scroll on social media? So get a buddy, and maybe we create a group and we just check in. You know,
We're gonna call the group Stop the Scroll.
Stop the Scroll. If anyone's willing to join us in that. So checking in with yourself, knowing what you're getting, and then the 5th one is change your approach. So keep doing what's working for you, but don't be afraid to try different strategies. There's a lot of different strategies, right? There's social media, there's belly to belly, there's, Renee talked about prospecting in person just at wherever he spends money. There's if you're prospecting, you could be sending a voice note, a text, or a phone call. There's so many different methods, or doing videos or whatever, right? Don't be afraid to switch up your approach, try something new, try different ways. Did you know that Disney, everyone knows the company Disney, did you know that 302 banks said no to him? 302 banks said no before he got a yes. He changed his approach. until he got the yes. And I think we all know someone that's like, oh, this business doesn't work because they've tried something 4 times and then gave up on themselves, right? Sometimes you got to try things multiple times while you get good at it and develop the skills, number one, but then also not being afraid to switch things up or tweak something and again, you can utilize your My5 for this, for the conversations you're having too. Like if you need some coaching in your process or how you're doing it, we're here to support you. So those are the 5 steps. Know your outcome, know your reason why, take massive action, know what you're getting, and change your approach. And then this slide, I'll just close with this slide. This is pulled from one of the calls that Sanaz did. It just kind of summarizes some really great points. I'm not going to read them all. It's just kind of a nice way to end off. At the end of the day, your destiny is shaped by your decisions. The decisions that we make every single day is what shapes our life, right? The decision to spend time on social media or to choose what job we want or to how we spend our time. Make a decision today that your future self will thank you for, right? Make a decision today that is going to propel you forward, bring you closer to your goal instead of keeping you where you're at. You all were born to do something great. All of us were. And there's not much sense in waiting for tomorrow because it never comes. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, Zoom. And that concludes our boot camp for today. We are going to reset the room and get ready for our tour in a half an hour. Feel free to stay on or join us in, I guess we'll start in half an hour. We're just going to reset and yeah, we can play the video and I'll stop the recording at this time. But thanks all for tuning in. Come back and join us to view the tour that's going to happen here in a little bit.